Warbringer. Okay, so we're going to get the totem guys. So the one that I'm looking forward to the most that I'm really hoping is a Juggernaut. I'm really hoping it's a Juggernaut, bro. I'm hoping it's a Juggernaut. Okay, Warbringer. So Warbringer, I don't like totems, Jen. I don't know if you know this. I'm not a totem fan. That's why this guy's probably not going to go crazy for me. Okay, break armor equal to 10% of the hit damage dealt. This is probably broken, actually. Well, not broken. This is probably like a free support link on every single ability. You know, you hit for 1,000, you break 100 armor. 100 armor break, I think, is not non-zero. Like, this is like going to be a very good way to break armor, it seems like. You can break enemy armor to below 0. So wait, they take more damage from a hit? Wait, no, but you gotta understand how armor works, the calculation. Okay. So reverse armor works like this, chat. If you hit an enemy for a small hit, you're gonna get a more of an increase. So lots of little hits will get more damage increase. But then large hits will give you a damage increase, but a smaller damage increase. The TLDR is you get damage increases for going negative armor, but it's going to scale better with smaller hits. Chat, you're stupid if you don't understand. GG, when they say reduce armor below 0, it literally means invert armor. Which means that you'll get like more of an increase, which will be super weird. Now, the bigger hit will still be bigger than the smaller hits, but you'll get less of a damage increase. You'll get, so it's not, they take more damage, but yeah. That's so weird. That's so weird. So now the question is, how long is the armor broken for? Like, that's the question I want to know. Is it just broken for that one hit? Is it broken for 4 seconds and it stacks up? Well, how long is it broken for? This is very interesting. This is very interesting. And on top of that, this has insane damage amp. Theoretically, right? I feel like, because the fact of the matter is this: it's not saying like you get 600 darkness, where it's like a flat amount of darkness. It's not saying enemies have 600 reduced armor. No, it's saying 10% of your hit. This scales up the more you scale up, so you get more value. The bigger dick your weapon is, the bigger dick your character gets, and it's just going to get more and more ridiculous. So you're going to start off by hitting them for like 1,000, and then you're going to break 100 armor, but then you're going to be hitting for 100,000 and breaking 10,000 armor. When you break 10,000 armor, what? No enemies got 10,000 armor. Now they're fucking negative armor, and they're doing some weird shit is happening where they've got inverted armor, which we've never seen before, because you can never get in inverted armor. You could only ever get to 0 armor. But inverted armor is reverse armor, which means small hits get big damage increases, big hits get damage increases, but smaller, which is fucking weird to even think about. Inverted armor is weird. This is weird, bro. It's really cool, though. Really cool. I want to know how this actually calculates out. This is probably going to be a POB angle. A lot. Okay, Encasing Jade. Grants Encasing Jade. Gain a stack of Jade every second. Consumes all stacks of Jade to grant a buff for a duration that absorbs all damage from hits up to a maximum based on the amount of Jade consumed, while in case you cannot move or perform actions. So, if there's scales of a percentage of your max life, then it'd be cool and a decent ability. And maybe it has a lot of abuse cases where you could really cheese some stuff. If it does not scale off max life and it's just like a steel skin, basically, except you can't move, that's going to be terrible. I feel like that would be awful game design, though, and I don't think GGG would do that. I want to believe the buff must scale off your maximum HP. Surely it's going to say gain a stack of Jade, and a stack of Jade is like, I'm thinking, what, like 20% of your life or something as an absorb shield? 10% of your life, maybe? Now, probably 20% of your life, right? Because a shield of 100% of your max life is not that big. It's still pretty massive. I get it absorbs all damage. It's a damage to absorb. Yes, but if it's a flat amount, if a stack of Jade says, it gives you like 20 DR per point, well, that it's going to work great at the early game and shit and like... Okay, you guys reading this line. Up to a maximum based on the amount of Jade consumed. Up to a maximum. Absorbs all damage from hits up to a maximum. So do you understand what that is? That is saying it absorbs all the damage, right? So say that it will hit, right? Say you get hit for damage that does this much, right? Does this much. Well, then it absorbs the entire hit and consumes that many stacks. Okay, if they hit you for this much, well, guess what? It's going to absorb all of that, but then you're going to take this much damage. Do you understand? It's not. Grant ancestral spirits. Trigger ancestral spirits when you summon a totem. Each of your totems will summon an ancestral spirit minion to fight for you. The totem that summoned the minion dies, then the ancestral spirit will too. I mean, this seems kind of crazy, bro. Like, I must admit, it sounds kind of... The fact that you could link it, you can 6-link this thing, right? So you could have, like, minion aggression, minion movement speed, minion life. You could do, like, minion fucking whatever. You could link it to, like, melee physical damage for all I know. Like, it's probably a lot of stuff you could link this thing to. You can 6-link this thing. So this does seem like a weird build, though. It's a minion, though. So it's going off minion nodes. So it seems like if you're going to do this, you're going to be wanting to play spiritual, whatever the fuck it's called. You really want to be a straight-up full minion build? Minions. The thing is, minions and totems don't have synergy, right? Because totems are not minions. Minions are minions. Totems are totems. So, like, it seems like if you're going to do this, you're going to go full minion build. Or you just have it as a supplemental thing, but then I don't know how good that's going to be without proper scaling. Juvent. Yeah, so the totem is you. You are not the totem. So the totems scale off your character's stat sheet, whereas a minion has its own stat sheet that it does its own thing. Whereas a totem is you, but isn't you, if that makes sense. So it just mirrors whatever's on your stat sheet. But you aren't the totem, but the totem effectively is you. And if you understand that, then you'll understand totems. It's super weird, but if you listen to what I'm saying, you'll get it. 20% of damage you take from hits is taken from your nearest totem's life before. Okay, that's pretty strong. It's very strong. It's pretty strong. Maybe that's like 25% EHP as well, not 20% because of how the fraction works. Don't question it, bro. Don't question it. But it seems scuffed and situational, and it is only hit damage. Don't question it. Renly's training gained 40% base chance to block from equipped shield instead of the shield's value. This is obviously quite potent. Wait, you're saying block counts as spell block now? What do you mean? There's no such thing as spell... Does anyone have that tree? Does anyone have the PoE2 tree? Block. Wait, spell block and block the same thing. Okay, we need to add this to my list of notes. Something we just learned. Something new, chat. Something new. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I know you could actively block 100% of things when you're right-clicking, but I didn't know that it's spell blocking, so that's cool. Okay, so that's pretty potent then. It's pretty potent. Okay, wait. 35% less block chance. Can block damage from all hits. While shield is not raised. Oh, so this is saying you can block AoE. Oh, that's weird, bro. That's weird. It's like the acrobatics node. Yes, that's what it's like. AoE block. 100%. As your shield's raised, you get AoE block? Yes. This is my prediction chat. Is every single AoE attack is super well telegraphed. And it's supposed to be... So you gotta remember, this sounds really bad, but actually, if you think about it, when you're trying to cap both attack block and spell block, it's quite hard to do. Right? So now you only need to get block, but then you get 35% less. So it's kind of like... it's like doing? It's like you trying to cap spell block and attack block. So if you invested heavily in a block, pick Turtle Charm, never press active block, only active block stuff you know you can active block, then yeah, it's going to be good. You think you want to? You don't. I don't think I want to go this. I don't want to launch a shield build, I don't think. Although Anvil's weight and Imploding Impacts is kind of nuts. Yeah, I would go Anvil's weight and Imploding Impacts, Jade, and then Renly's training without Turtle. No, maybe not. And then, of course, your prisoners explode. When you walk right, and then 25% of their life is physical damage. Obviously, this is like really strong, but it's really gimmicky. It's like really strong, really gimmicky. I don't know who likes this time of gameplay, but it's not me. It is not me, bro. 7's OP. 7's OP in the respect that, like, yes, it's basically like if you did Turtle Charm. I mean, think about it, bro. You can have a mini Aegis Aurora, So it'd be like some sort of armor penetrating. Yeah, it'd be some sort of armor penetrating shield build. And then there's that one node, which is, it's like Aegis Aurora at home. Yeah, recover energy shield equals to 1% of your armor on your block. Ancient Aegis. So, depending on how you can get that shit, it can be very, very strong. So, I mean, imagine that, right? You stack, you go full armor slash ES, full block chance, so just get block cap. You can block all damage. Every time you block, you gain ES. There's also that really nice node. Zealot's Oath. Excess life recovery from region is applied to energy shield. So then you would also have energy recharge from your life. This would be a pretty sick fucking build, actually, bro. Yeah, block chance cap, armor stack, armor. I actually like this. I actually like this quite a lot. The more I think about it, the more fun it would be to min-max. It seems like a really fun build to min-max. And then you probably go Giant Splat as well. And you just two-handed weapon and you one-hand. What? Do you know what? I didn't like Warbringer very much. The question is, how good is this? And that all comes down to how GGG calculates negative armor. I don't know how they calculate. It's going to function like reverse armor, in my opinion. So what that means is it's going to make them take more physical damage, right? And the way it'll work is it'll be more damage increase taken based if it's a smaller hit and less damage increase taken if it's a bigger hit. That's how it'll... Which then does synergize well with doing like a fast one-hander. Like a fast one-hander. I mean, maybe that's not how it'll work, but I did the maths here, bro. So what is armor? It gives you big DI versus small hits. So what does that mean if it's reversed? Small damage increase versus a big hit. It's small DI versus a big hit, which means it'll be big damage increase on a small hit. If it's inverted. Now, that's assuming they just reverse the formula, right? If they reverse it. If they say, okay, formula reverse, which is normally what they do in GGG, they normally just reverse it, right? Once it becomes reversed, literally it becomes inverse. So, like, the projectile speed becomes so slow that actually it starts going negative, and it just starts going negative. Just like resistances, you can go minus max res, right? And you can go minus res. And it just, instead of becoming a damage reduction, it becomes a damage increase. Okay? So, if GG doesn't normally, that's how it's going to work. Now, maybe they say, okay, no, every 1,000 armor you do, you break. Like, every negative 1,000 armor, it could just be something real simple, like, oh yeah, every time you go minus 1,000 armor. I don't think GGG do simple things, though. They don't do that. That's something Diablo 4 would do. I think it will be inverted res. Just like you can invert people's elemental resistances, just like you can invert projectile speed, just so you can invert a million things in this game to break the game. I think it will literally be inverted armor, which is why I think it'll function like this. Right. Warbringer, I thought Warbringer was going to be cringe. Now, the one thing I don't like about Warbringer is the fact that I'm relying on, it's a gamble. Because we don't know how this works, actually. Like, is it just snapshotting one? Do you just break an enemy's armor one time? And you can only break their armor once? And then does it overwrite each time you hit? Does it stack up? Does it have a duration? Does it, we don't know anything about it. And then how is the formula going to be for negative armor? We don't know. It's one of these things where I don't know. But in my eyes, it seems very efficient because it rewards you for being ZDPS. That's yes. If it truly inverts, you actually get rewarded for doing ZDPS. Yes. Well, that's the thing. Maybe it stacks for a duration and it only because it could do the thing, right? There could be multiple ways. It could stack infinitely, right? And then it could just apply the most powerful one. It could stack for a duration, or it could stack cumulatively and add up. It could have a window that it works within. There's so many ways it could work, whereas we just don't know. So, because we don't know, it's impossible to tell. All right, boys. The one I have been waiting for. I saved my favorite ascendancy for last because that's how I like to save it for last because then it's like Schrodinger's fucking ascendancy. You might have a good one. Basically it's both good and bad. I'm really excited for this. This is the one that I'm most likely to roll based on what we had seen and based on the overall class design from the nodes that were showed. Like, it's just like, this is like the raw dog warrior. This seemed to be the closest thing to a juggernaut. Let's see what we get here. 50% more armor from equipped body armor. Wait, not even double, bro? Not even double, bro? Like, not even double? Even if they did double armor from your body armor, I wouldn't have been that impacted. Like my PoE 1 brain sees that and goes, that's terrible. And PoE 2, perhaps your chest piece is like 5 times as much armor as any other item. And PoE 2, maybe it's different. So, it's one of these things where maybe that's actually good. But to me, you know, using PoE 1 values, this is complete dog. Alright, Earthbreaker. 20% chance for your slam skills to cause aftershocks. Okay, so we know aftershocks. What do we read here? Aftershocks are bursts of area damage that occur after initial impact of the skill causing them. If otherwise not specified, the aftershock will deal the same damage as the initial impact in the same area. So that's just 20% more damage. That's 20% more damage on average. And it hits the second time, so you can proc extra stuff. And there's probably going to be other abilities that scale with aftershocks, so it's probably going to actually be better than 20%. Right? Okay. Every second slam skill you use, it's ancestrally boosted. Ancestrally boosted slam is 20% more damage and area effect. Bro, I've got fucking rat eye real bad, man. My fucking right eye, dude. Man, I hope this is not persistent. I hope I don't have this as a PoE2 launch, bro. Goddamn. Okay, so we got like Fist of War at home here with Ancestral Boost. Now, it's, what? Temp? I mean, okay, so theoretically, you can get a lot of value out of this if you're a God Gamer. And what does that mean? You could basically go slam A, slam B, slam A, slam B, slam A, and slam A is done with like a really, really fast double dual wield setup. It's a fast slam with fast links. Slam B could be like a super slow giga two-hander, ultra slow, and you can basically make this turn into 20% more AoE and damage. But that would be complete cancel gameplay, I feel like. That would probably be complete cancel gameplay. But you could do that, right? You could do that. That's what I'm saying. So, you could do that. Alright, 4. Carry a chair switch adds 20 inventory slots. What the fuck is that, bro? What the fuck is this? This better be completely optional. 4 better be optional. Scrolling over, scrolling down. Oh my god, you have to get that to get 5? Wait, I hope 5 is not good. Well, I hope 5 is really good, actually. Maybe, wait. Hopefully 5 is broken, and then you just get 4 for free. Right? Think about that. If 5 is broken, then you just get 20 inventory slots, because you have to... Okay, so 5... 50% increase effect of small passive skills. I feel like this is going to be broken. But it could... Wait, what the... Imagine if Colossal Jewels existed, bro. Imagine this with Colossal Jewels in the game. Imagine how dog shit of a fucking ability this... Imagine how boring this would be. Have you seen non-big passive Colossal Jewels before, chat? Where it's like... The Colossal Jewel is like fucking 10 small nodes, and every single small node is just like 20% damage? Or 30% damage? Yeah, like it's... Doesn't matter with the tribute. Small passive skill. Every 2 small passives, it's like getting a third passive for free. But, what are small passives? How much of your tree and how much of your power comes from small passives? When you look... Because small passives are a means to an end, aren't they? You would just take big passives if you could take big passives. Like, whenever I look at a wheel, I never look at what the small passives gives me. I look at, like, what they give me and this combined per... Bro, this wheel here would be broken, bro. These 2 wheels, like, 20% increase. It's like you get an extra melee critical strike chance node. Like, that's literally 4.6 damage. But everything's finite, but there's, like, you can get, like, infinite increased damage. I'm not looking for increased damage. What I'm looking for is... I'm looking for stuff like... melee strike range, for example, that's a hard to get stat that's very finite, but you can get strike range. You know, things like maximum res, that's hard to get. Like things like duration, that's hard to get. Like this, there is a very finite amount of increased duration on the tree, right? So being able to increase this by that much is quite a lot. So it's like, you just like getting, like, for example, this wheel here, boom, 10% more duration, right? Or 10% increased duration. Let's go with a normal tree. Okay, let's say each small node is worth how much? Like 3% worth that. So I'm getting 153% damage, right? Just from the small nodes. So now we get this, multiplied by 1.5. So it's 76% increased damage. Wait, no. There's notepad. Okay, so the way that works is this. I assign every small node as 3% damage. We scaled that up by 1.5. Right? It gave us 76, which is actually 76% more, like plus addition. But, so when you compare it, it's a 50% more, right? But, obviously, because that's what we multiplied it by. But, your build isn't just small nodes, it's also big nodes. So then you calculate the big nodes without scaling it by 1.5, and then you do the comparison of how much you get with the additional 76, and that turns into 20% more overall value. Now, that is calculating at small passives, 3% more dam per, and big passives, 8% more dam per. At that point, with this particular build, it equals to 20% more damage, which that does seem like how GG would be. The thing is, though, that's 20% more damage if your tree is not min-maxed around. Okay. Not min-maxed around 1.5x. This is like, you can think of it like, I'm saying more damage. You could call this like, you could quantify this as every small passive point is 3% value, and that's 20% more value of your overall tree. So, if you optimized it, right? If you optimized it, I think you could probably get this to like 30%. I think if you were selecting really good nodes to abuse, and then some things can't be really like, how much is a max res worth, right? How much is a max res worth? Not max 1.5x. Also not accounting for insane value gained from rare stats. We'll call them rare stats. But remember, this is 4 ascendancy points. That's 4 ascendancy points. You do get 20 extra slots. Like, this would be insane if it wasn't with the... Like, this should be completely no-brainer. Broken, you would pick it without the backpack. I understand the backpack now. I understand the backpack now. So, the TLDR is this. The backpack is to balance how strong that ascendancy node is. I mean, they could remove the backpack and just say... They could remove the backpack and say 30% increased stats, I think. It's still worth, regardless, if you have a good enough tree. But we haven't seen the small nodes on the tree, so it's impossible to know. So anyone who's saying it's broken hasn't even seen the small passive, so then you don't know how good it is. What if every small passive in the game has been nerfed? What if every small passive in the game has been nerfed? But based on a PoE normal tree, non-min-maxed around it, it's 20% more value. Yeah. And then you get the insane utility of having the extra slots. Okay, so anyway, yep, hulking form. Okay, hulking form, fair enough. This is interesting. And it changes the way you build your character, which is kind of cool, I think. Okay, your hits are crushing blows. Interesting. Crushing blows are a heavy stun. Wait, crushing blows cause a heavy stun on enemies that are primed for stun. Prime for stun. Normal enemies are primed for stun when they have at least 40% stun. Heavy stun buildup. Magic enemies are instead primed at 60% buildup, rare at 70, and unique at green. Okay, 40% more damage versus heavy stun enemies, and then what the hell, man? That's nerfed. That's nerfed. 15% more max life. Ooh. Okay. Do you know what? I kind of like Warbringer. In a lot of ways, randomly. Warbringer is actually pretty cool. I kind of like Warbringer. I obviously like Titan a lot. Titan is quite potent. Titan's really potent. Funnily enough, Infernalist actually comes. It rates super high with me actually. Infernalist.